Hey, Jill, come on. We're going to be late for the Crypto Blend live stream. Call Barack and Michelle, see if they're going to tune in and watch. We can see him chart Doggy Moo coin.
This is the best president of the United States, Donald Trump, and when I'm not putting high tariffs into place, I'm watching Crypto Glenn. Only Dickie Duck.
We are late. The Crypto Glenn live stream has started without us. You fail me yet again, Starscream.
Jeez, I'm excited about this.
You're watching the Crypto Glenn nightly stream. Real Alpha, Glenn, can you chart Doggy Moo coin for me?
I'm too old for this shit.
You know what time it is when you hear this, right?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are watching this. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you tuning into this podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get started with I'm hoping at the end of this, we have some questions that are going to be answered. There's been a lot of excitement that's been going around the crypto community, actually the XRP community space, regarding one of the XRP community's beloved new acquisitions, Hiddenroad. And before we get into this, I want to just do a quick roll call here. What's going on to Worldwide K is in the building. Yeah. Nikki is in the building. Hex is in the building. Carol is in the building. Jim's in the building. Squire's in the building. Deuces Wild is in the building. Drop one for those for each and every one of y'all. Appreciate y'all for being here. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We've got some information I want to uncover. There's just been a lot of what I would deem like a little bit of misinformation that's floating around the XRP space right now. Y'all know me. That's like, if I'm a hornet's nest, that's the best way to take a stick to it. I can't stand it. A lot of these people get on the internet and they just spell falsehoods. They lie. They have no regard for the information that they share with you. And so today we're going to try to get to the bottom of some of that. My guy Fear Crypto is in the building. Appreciate you, family. We're YK. Hey. Hex, I appreciate you with the heart me bub. Thank you for the roses. Fear with the boxing gloves. Let's get it, family. I appreciate y'all. So let's get into it. One of the more popular acquisition news surrounding the cryptocurrency space is Ripple and how they have acquired Hiddenroad. Now, if you don't know who Hiddenroad is, essentially they are a clearinghouse, right? They deal in everything from leverage trading. They deal with clearinghouse. They deal with a lot of different attributes that are traditionally used in TradeFi, foreign exchange markets, things of that nature. And that's good, right? Like, this acquisition can be a good thing for Ripple. I'm not saying that it's not. But in order to understand this take, you've got to understand the argument that I have always posed. Either Ripple and XRP are the same, and one might make the argument that they once upon a time were. Back in 2017, there was no XRP. It was actually just called Ripple, as it is Ripple. Back to the blockchain one time with the heart me. I appreciate you, family. Thank you. And after they started getting into a little bit of jeopardy with the SEC, hey, are you guys in fact one and the same as X is? Ripple is security. They kind of went through a little bit of a rebrand to try to create some separation between the company and the digital asset, which is why you have Ripple, the company, and XRP, the digital asset. Okay. And what we have found today, Crypto Slayer with the heart me. I appreciate you, family. Thank you, my guy. See, I can see you. I'm not ignoring you. A little bit of a running joke Slayer and I have. Nita, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I appreciate seeing your wonderful smiling face. And so after they started getting into a little bit of hot water with the SEC, Crypto Slayer, they created some separation. They went through, they did a series of launching of new products, all trying to incorporate the XRP token, which, if I'm being completely honest, did nothing for token adoption. In fact, it wouldn't be until the lawsuit had come out that we would learn, Hiddenroad, Silk Road, that's from Dr. Octo, we would learn that there were partners, quote unquote partners, that Ripple had championed, and that members of the XRP community wanted to go and create hype videos based off, oh, this person's using XRP, this company's using XRP. Well, it wouldn't be until we got to the lawsuit that we would learn that Ripple had actually been paying, quote unquote, said partners to actually utilize their technology. After all, one of the biggest things that is spread about Ripple, one of the biggest things that is spread about XRP is how cheap it is for cross-border remittance payments. When in actuality, one of these money transmitter that was named in the lawsuit, and this is not FUD, this is fact. So we've got to move away from this standpoint. Whenever someone offers a difference of opinion, it's FUD, because it's not, it's fact. Everything that I'm telling you here can be backed up by information that can be found in court documents. And if everyone really wants to see it, I'd be happy to show it to them. Because I can do that. If I tell you something, I can back it up. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not like these other folks, many of which were in the XRP community, who want to tell you fables and conjecture and want you to believe it. No, I'm going to back mine up with facts. So many of the stories and many of the posts and many of the talking points that people in XRP and the Ripple community were going around spreading about how XRP was cheaper and it was being used by this company and that company turned out to be lies. People were lying to their audiences. MoneyGram was one of the companies that came out and said, yeah, we actually never used XRP like that. In fact, we only told them, like, we would only use it if you paid us to, so that you could turn around and use it as a marketing piece. What we found out in that lawsuit was actually the service that Ripple provides is not very efficient in terms of monetary efficiency. It's not as cheap as Ripple would want the public to believe. And so from then, you had the Securitize acquisition and XRP community. They got all excited about that. Videos and talking points and posts were created and centered around that to try to get people to buy in. And that amounted to a hill of beans. And they would say, well, the reason why it didn't do what it was supposed to do is because we had a lawsuit. Oh, really? Is that why on July of 2023, I believe it was July 13th, 2023, when Judge Torres said that XRP was not a security, the price didn't move? Huh. Well, the reason why XRP isn't moving is because we still have to deal with the lawsuit. Well, here we are, April 10th, 2025. The lawsuit is wrapped up. XRP is down. Last I checked, it was $1.74. Could be at $1.60. So either the things that you said were holding up the price appreciation of XRP were falsehoods, or the market is telling people we don't want XRP. Crypto Caddy in the building. What's up, Caddy? Drop one of them bombs in the chat for Caddy one time. My guy Fear with the sparklers. Appreciate you, Brody. So either the things the cryptocurrency, the XRP community was telling their audiences were some of the biggest detractors from XRP's price action were false, or the market is telling us we don't want XRP. So then what does Ripple do? They do the same thing that they have always done. We can't get adoption. Let's go ahead and try to buy our way into adoption, which I get it. Like, I'm not even hating on them for that. In fact, it's probably a smart play. If you can't try to get adoption, right? Like if you're a new business and you're trying to crack into an industry, say you're like a I don't know, a pressure washing business, right? But that market is so sold up, it's so jam packed, you can't really get a new segment into the market that you're trying to get into. I want you to just go ahead and just buy up a few different competitors and assume they're clients. It's smart. It's a smart play on Ripple. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not. It's a smart play on Ripple. The problem is a lot of what you have been told about Ripple, a lot of the problem is what you have been told about XRP, what you have been told about RLUSD is not rooted in whole truths. Like other companies, Mike, 100%, they acquire companies so that they can grow. I don't even hate that model, because if it were me, I'd do the same thing. Can't crack into a market organically, buy up some of the competitors. 50% of the supply owned by devs, red flag. I'm just saying. Just saying. For those that believe no proof is required, for those that believe willingly and blindly, if you step on a landmine and your leg gets blown off, whose fault is it? So when you take a look at the hype that was being centered on, whoa, once RLUSD comes out, boy, the price of XRP is going to take off. Really? How'd that work out? Because you don't even understand that RLUSD is a small player when it accounts for the vast majority of stablecoins that are on the market. We have the structure. While the bill is not finalized, it is not gone into law, it still has to be passed by the upper chamber of Congress. We essentially have the skeletal framework of what that stablecoin bill is going to look like. If you've got a market cap of, what is it? I think 10 billion or under, and I'd have to go back and look at this. You're going to be governed to 10 billion and up. You're going to be governed by the feds. Be the change. You like that? Gotta have fun with it. Gotta have fun with it. So when you take a look at stablecoins on the market now, the big dogs, I'm doing air quotes, the big dogs, who are going to be governed by the feds, it's Tether, it's USDC, and that's really about it. Really about it. On a local level, state level, you'd be looking at RLUSD. RLUSD isn't big enough to get onto the federal level as of yet. Not saying it can't be, but it's not as of yet. So this whole entire argument is, let's not let the Moon Boys try to exert emotion on your heartstrings and get you to move a certain kind of way. Better yet, you better do that research and make sure the information that you're consuming is legitimate. Otherwise, you might be making a mistake. You might be invested in an asset that's going to be going sideways, as XRP was going sideways for a number of years. Oh, well, you know, we just had the meeting with the Treasury, and they want to start fast tracking payments and making that more efficient, and that's going to be, you know, Ripple. That's going to be the XRPL. No. It'd be very easy for the uninitiated to look at everything that's happening and think because things that come from Ripple are going to be handled cross-border or going to be handled monetary. Like, Ripple is not, XRP is not the only asset. They're not the only company that handles things inside the borders of the United States from a monetary standpoint. Tassat, Broadridge, some of your legacy players, banking institutions, UBS, they all offer products and services that are going to be utilized in whatever it is that the U.S. Treasury is cooking up. And if I'm being honest, if you're looking at the news that's coming out of the Treasury and somehow, some way you think this has got to do with Ripple, you're sadly mistaken. Because what this has everything to do with is stable coins. You now have a structural skeletal framework that is going to be used to implement how stablecoins move in the United States. And now the Treasury's come out and tell you, yeah, we actually think we want to start getting to a point where we can actually fast track a lot of our payments and work on capital efficiencies and reduce redundancies. That's not a Ripple thing. That's a stablecoin thing. That even goes back to reports that I've tried to show you that are coming out from the TBAC, where they actually go through how the growth of stablecoins could possibly look in a handful of years. yeah. Well, I heard Echo the Truth, and he's talking about, treasury dollars. What the fuck is a treasury dollar? What's a treasury dollar? So you're telling me we're going to get the currency, the coins, United States notes, Federal Reserve notes, from which the U.S. Treasury is directly responsible for, excluding gold coins and gold certificates. Echo. What the fuck? I'm going to show you the image. This man saw this and thought the Treasury was coming out with brand new notes, and somehow that was going to be ushered into like some new financial system. I want you all to screenshot this. I want you to copy this artist's name down, and I want you to do your own research and figure out how he came to that image right there. It was his take on what U.S. money would look like if, in fact, it had some of the same styling characteristics that the euro has or the Canadian dollar has. Nothing more, nothing less. There is no new treasury dollar. When you go on and you check the Senate, right? The 21st Century Dollar Act, which stems from the talking point of a treasury dollar, was a bill that was introduced by Representative Hill French of Arkansas in 2023, and in 2 years it hasn't gained any traction. Why are we so opposed to actually doing research in this cryptocurrency space? I will never understand. We get a soundbite, we get a sound clip, and then we want to run off and preach it from the tallest mountaintop as if it's the gospel. This thing came out in 2023 and has not gotten any traction in the House, the Senate, anywhere. Mike, 100%, because everybody want to hit the lotto. It's much easier to dream. Heaven forbid we actually do 10 minutes worth of research. Oh, but Glenn, man, you don't even know, bro, because, Hiddenroad, they do $10 trillion worth of transactions a day or a month. Wrong again. Wrong again. They do $3 trillion across markets annually. When you extrapolate that over a year, what is that, like some 8 billion? Am I right on that? How many zeros are in a trillion? Is it 12? Is that right, chat? 12 zeros in a trillion? $100 million, billion. They do 250 billion a month. It's 15. I think it's 12. We're saying 15. Let's just double check that. How many zeros in a trillion? $12 zeros. Yeah, I was right. 12. Okay. So you do on the math on that, that's what, 250 billion a month? Respectable, right? Respectable. But if you're gonna get on here and spew some BS like this new company that Ripple acquired is doing $10 trillion of value or $10 trillion of transactions every month, like, can you at least get it right? This is the problem that I have with these people. Let's just take whatever sound good and let's just run with it. Yeah, they the biggest in the game, dog. They the biggest in the game. I want each and every one of you to go to Crypto Never Sleeps' profile and send that man a thank you. Crypto Anderson says, well, you're so negative. I'm not negative. No, you're mad because I just won't buy it blindly with you. You're mad because I actually want to hold content creators accountable. I'm not going to do that. You shouldn't do that. Because for years, that kind of behavior, that kind of mentality is what had your portfolios destroyed. You're saying I'm missing facts. I'm literally holding them up here on the screen for you now. Maybe you're vacuuming. You're not looking at your phone. Maybe you're picking your nose. Maybe you're rubbing one out. I don't know. But I'm literally showing it to you in print, in black and white. It's called objectivity. Thank you, Bland. Thank you. A mother can't be objective about how their portfolio looks or the kind of information that they're taking in and then wondering why their portfolio looks the way that it is or it's not doing as well as it can. Crypto says, I'm watching, but I'm vacuuming. I love you, Caddy. You got a problem with objectivity. This is why you have an unhealthy allegiance to losers. We don't do that over here. We win. That's what we do. We win. So again, I want you to go over to Crypto Never Sleeps' profile, and I want y'all to thank him for putting this company that I'm about to show you on everyone's radar, because the notion is that Ripple does the biggest and they team up and they buy the biggest and the baddest. They're the champions of the space. They are small potatoes, little fellas, guppies. Broadridge? Broadridge. Let me say it again. Broadridge. The same industry. Telcoin. Broadridge, the same industry that Hiddenroad is in. Broadridge has bigger accounts, bigger customers than what Hiddenroad is doing. Broadridge, $50 billion in daily transactional a month. 50 billion daily, or $1 trillion a month. Sounds like to me somebody that wanted y'all to believe a false narrative had their signals crossed. Because you were told Hiddenroad does $10 trillion a month. No, not even close. You were told all these things. These people stroked your hair. They rubbed your hand. They whispered sweet nothings in your ear to try to get you to believe that somehow, some way, this was going to equal a wonderful, masterful plan, and that was going to have the price of XRP skyrocket because all these things are going to be tied into one another. Exilian is like, things that are not true for 500, Alex. Like, bro, you do not have to take my word for this. You do not. You don't. See the website? Go to the website. broadridge.com/article/capital markets /DLR-transactions-1 million. I'm sorry, 1-trillion-a-month. This is coming directly from their website. It is in their annual report. Oh, my bad, family. My bad. I read that wrong. My apologies. My bad. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it. Historically, Ripple has had great technology, but the price of XRP, the cryptocurrency market of $113 billion, anticipates a level of adoption that exceeds the current scale of the XRP ledger. With this acquisition, Ripple hopes to increase the XRPL usage and plans to use the RLUSD stablecoin for collateralized as margin for trades. Plus, Hiddenroad will use its XRPL in its back office. In other words, the recording of its trades and clearing will happen on the XRPL. Privacy, now listen to this, privacy is a reason why institutions have failed to fully abandon their affinity for permissionless blockchains. The XRPL is touted as a public blockchain, meaning it doesn't need permission. It's permissionless. So the big question is now whether institutions will feel comfortable if Hiddenroad uses the public XRPL for clearing and settlement. One way to obscure or orchestrate transactions on blockchains is to reportedly use fresh wallets. However, the whole point of Hiddenroad's clearing is to aggregate transactions, which would make the institution's global activity even more obvious. Another potential path is the use of interledger protocol, which makes some data combined with the private L2 solution. Now, if this takes place, None of what the XRP community is hoping is going to happen is going to happen. Or will Hiddenroad use a private version of the XRPL ledger? In that case, it may help a little with adoption of the technology, which would be good for Ripple, but would not help the XRP price. And that has always been the standpoint. If we're going to sit here and say because if something good happens to Ripple, then something good has to happen to XRP, then maybe, just maybe, XRP really might be a security. But if you're telling me XRP is a different thing than Ripple, they're not really tied together. Just because something good happens to Ripple doesn't mean something good has to happen to XRP. Well, then that's got to be the basis that you run with. The thing that I have always stood on is that the things that Ripple does is so that when they IPO, they can have a stronger valuation. Why would you need a cross-border remittance coin, XRP, and then come out with RLUSD? They both essentially would serve the same function. I can send XRP cross-border. I can send RLUSD cross-border. In fact, most people are going to want to utilize stable coins because it is a more trusted medium of exchange. Wasn't that one of the situations that we heard, or one of the problems that we heard with XRP? Well, while you can send it cross-border and it does happen relatively quick, even in the time that it takes from get to point A to point B, there is still going to be some slippage. And with the stable coin, you don't have that. So Ripple took a look at a lot of the friction, a lot of the pushback that they were getting from the customers that they wanted to use, that they had to pay to use their technology, as stated in the lawsuit papers. And they decided to come out with RLUSD, a stable coin. So I'm trying to tell you, at a certain point in time, if you're in the XRP community, like, y'all really have got to sit down and start having really objective conversations and stop walking in these environments where you're just smelling each other's farts and trying to give yourself a pat on the back thinking that you're going to be the chosen one because someone created a YouTube video and told you that. I would argue that much of the transactions that are going to take place over at Hiddenroad are not even going to be on the XRPL for some time, if ever at all. I went to Twitter and I asked them, I said, anybody that is thinking that Hiddenroad is doing $10 trillion worth of transactions a month, like in terms of like value, monetary value, please like show it to me. It was met with no reception because it cannot be shown. It cannot be proven. I can go over here to Broadridge though, directly from their annual report and directly from some of the postings on their site where they actually tell you how much they're doing. You're talking about legacy institutions engaging in foreign market transactions. HSBC, large global accredited bank, operates in I forget how many nations. They initially use the Batten system for their distributed ledger technology. You might want to look at these guys. And they use it because they had a problem set where they needed a solution for trillions of dollars in intragroup transactions before using it Wells Fargo with their bilateral financial markets transactions. Do I think Echo would agree with me? I wouldn't give a damn if Echo would agree with me. Echo is giving you hyperbole. He's giving you conjecture. He's giving you emotional-based arguments. I'm literally showing it to you in print from the sources, not a bobsbasementblog.com. Crypto never sleeps. Y'all, seriously, tag that man. Give him a thank you. He's the one that put me up on this. I had then had to go and do the research. Man, who is Broadridge, man? What are they really doing? Oh, y'all moving bread. You're doing $50 billion daily or $1 trillion a month, but we're sitting here talking about Ripple. The fuck? You would be more poised to be trying to align yourself with getting some Ripple shares, if you can get it before or when they IPO, versus what you are hearing coming out of certain creators' mouths about XRP, because what Ripple is doing is trying to position themselves to strengthen the company valuation. Now, if you're telling me the company is different than the digital asset, because something good happens to Ripple does not necessarily mean it's going to be something good for XRP. Everybody got that? We good on that. Let's take a look at something else here. I've been trying to get an understanding. XRP is a tech of Ripple, yes, but the XRP executives have told us you don't need XRP in order to utilize their tech. That's an XRP executive's word, not mine. So even if I were to... What's up, Tech? I see you in the chat. What's going on, baby? What's up, Sleeps? I see you. So even if I was to appease the court and say, you know what? You're right. Do I have proof? Are you not looking at this? Can y'all see my screen? Am I bugging or is Buddy just not reading? You get on one of the only content creators on this app that actively tells people to audit my content, right? I literally just gave you the URL where you could check this stuff out. It says, if anything, Ripple might put XRP on the back burner. I'm just saying, why come out with RLUSD if you had XRP and they both can kind of serve the same function? The Treasury just told you what kind of growth they're expecting out of stablecoins. Sounds like to me you would create a stablecoin and issue a stablecoin so you can try to generate those fees for your company, which again would help out your bottom line, which again would make the valuation of your company stronger. Not necessarily looking out for the people who are holding XRP. But again, I see you, Milf. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope your Thursday afternoon is going great. But again, say I'm wrong. Say I'm wrong. And say I just want to appease the court, right? The way I understand it is there's going to be, or the way it works out, and I want to check my notes here. There's what about a trying to work on the numbers here to figure out exactly how much XRP would need to be burnt in order for it to put a dent in the real price. So if I understand this correctly, you've got about 10 drops, 10 millions of XRP is burned per transaction. To burn the 100 billion supply, it would take about, if my math is correct here, and it usually is, 10 quadrillion transactions to burn only 1/10 of the supply, right? That would take 1 quadrillion transactions. MasterCard, I believe, and Visa, they'll do about 18 billion transactions in like 2023, the last I checked. And if XRP was doing about 100 times as many transactions in a year, which may be impossible. If XRP transaction 100 times as much as MasterCard, that would be 1.76, round up 1.8 trillion transactions per year to burn just 1/10 of the XRP supply. It will require a quadrillion. That would be the equivalent of what? 525, 550, 555 years. It's virtually impossible for the transaction to burn enough to even put a dent in the price of XRP, because I'm going to tell you why. If this is going to be a system that is supposed to last in perpetuity, that means forever, or as close to forever as one can get. You can't go burning up the supply, because then what? Now, maybe if this was something that was only supposed to work for 3, 5, maybe 13 years, yeah, you could turn up the burning mechanism, run through the supply, and then you could start to see wild price appreciation of XRP, because the supply, there would be a constraint on the supply. But if this is a technology that's supposed to be lasting for the duration, for the foreseeable future, no, there's not going to be enough burning that's going to take place that's going to miraculously make the price of XRP just skyrocket. So even if they do get the transactions from Hiddenroad on the XRPL, and these transactions are transacting and it's burning up all this XRP, it would still take almost a lifetime for it to put a dent in the price. And if the whole entire argument behind using the XRPL and utilizing XRP is because it's cheap, even though partners have told us that it's not cheap, you can't go through burning it up. What's up, Miss Evie? I see you in the chat. XRP equals food stamps. Does that make sense? I just want to do a temp check. Does that make sense? You can't say, oh, we're the cheap alternative, but we're gonna burn up a lot of XRP, therefore the price goes higher, therefore the price of XRP goes up. Like, you gotta start this, you gotta look at this, man. They played y'all. They came to the market with XRP and they sold XRP to the public so that they could fund their day-to-day operations. Brad Garlinghouse has come out and told the public this. Without sales to the public of XRP, we would not be able to fund our day-to-day operation. Those are that man's words, not mine. They did what they did to try to build a company off the back of the people who bought the XRP community. At no point in time did they step in and try to correct some of the conjecture that was being said by the community. They just say, hey, man, this is going to be good for business. Let them run with it. They used that to fund their day-to-day operations so they could turn around and try to get partners and buy all this, acquire all this funds so that they can buy these companies to try to strengthen the financial position of the business, the financial valuation of the business. Said at the end of the day, you can do whatever it is that you want to do with your money, but when you step on a landmine and it blows your leg off, it's going to be your own fault. It's going to be your own fault. Because when I ask people in the XRP community to bring me factual information from these sources, when they go through and they do their lives and they say the things about XRP, what they say, I'm like, you know what, show me this stuff in print directly from the sources. It's funny how they can never do it, but here I am showing it directly to you, directly from the sources. And this is before we even mention Tassat or UBS's product. That's already, if I might add, in the banking sector. So again, my original prediction provided by the gentleman in the black hoodie stands. XRP $3 to $5 max this go round. And if it goes over 5, I would be shocked. Everyone taking XRP to dinner, but nobody smashing. Nah, that's funny. But I had to get this out there, man, because something was told to me the other day. Oh, Glenn, you flooded people out of XRP. And I'm like, nah, man. If you go back and do your homework, the majority of times when I was trying to tell people about XRP and what it was not doing, what were we really on? In a market that was going sideways for years. Oh, well, that's okay. They'll just pack up and they'll just leave America. Well, the foreign markets are still available to Ripple, and the price is still what it is. So back during the lawsuit, if the price wasn't going through explosionary growth, maybe that was a market actually trying to tell market participants, hey, we don't want XRP. Maybe we don't want XRP. But some people just got to learn the hard way. Some people just got to learn the hard way. I thought I saw some in the chat. Let me comb through that again. Hang on. Back to the blockchain with the GGs. Appreciate you, family. Thank you so much. Whoa, what was that? That was kind of cool animation. Who did that? Who did that? My guy Crypto TV with Trey in the building. I appreciate you, Trey. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Drop one of them bombs in the chat one time for Trey. Drop one of them bombs one time in the chat for Back to the Blockchain. Okay, I got it. I see it. Who was that? Deuces Wild says, show the court doc saying that they paid partners, right? I'm not going to lie to y'all, man. I'm not, listen, if you think I'm going to hop on Al Gore's internet and lie to y'all, like, I'm not. For if nothing else, I don't like y'all enough to lie to you. I know that sounds bad, but just understand what I'm saying. There you go. Click on it. Let me click on it. This is directly from the court document.
The dance party with Beyonce.
Yeah, that's what we doing. We had a dance party with Beyonce because we knew what kind of BS this was. Here you go to case number. You're all free to look at this. You can run this through Google if you know how to find court documents. You can do so. At the top, it goes on to say that activities were subsidized by Ripple, though Ripple touts ODL as a cheaper alternative to payment rails. At least one money transmitter found it to be much more expensive, and therefore not a product that it wished to use without significant compensation from Ripple. Oh, you thought I was going to lie to you? What? How do you think Echo would agree with you? Give a fuck what Echo thinks. This is in black and white directly from the court case. This space does not care about your feelings. Can you discern from what's real versus what's not? Between early 2019 and July 2020, the money transmitter conducted that the overwhelmingly majority of XRP trading volume in connection with ODL. Ripple had to pay the money transmitter significant financial compensation, often paid in XRP, in exchange for the money transmitter's agreement to help Ripple increase its volume. But when I tell you you are being lied to, I'm producing FUD. But when I tell you a lot of these cats in the XRP community are full of shit, you continuously listen to them. If you go into that forest and you step on a landmine and it blows your leg off, that's your fault, not mine. So the next time you go to one of those lives and they try to tell you some silly shit. Where is it? We're getting new treasury notes. Know what you hold. Show it to me in print, big dog. Because when I run that image across a image finder, it tells me this was just an artist rendition of what money would look like if it were produced the same as the Canadian dollars or the same money that the EU has. It's just influence, Raymond. It's just influence. Trying to tell the XRP community anything. Wait, let me go back up. That's moving on me. It's like screaming into a void that screams back. I don't even think it screams back. It's like throwing a brick down a mine shaft, man. It's just going down and down and down and down. And with some of those content creators, man, listen, with some of them, that elevator don't go to the top floor. The rug will be better than Trump coin. Woo! Yeah, you got to know what you hold. New treasury notes, new treasury dollars.
I beg your pardon.
Excuse me?
I beg your pardon.
What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm working on AMM to try to, do the DeFi, bring the DeFi to XRP. Bro, shut up. Someone came out with a shitty project on the DEX that is getting no volume, And they said, hey, we want you to utilize it and try to give us your feedback. And oh, by the way, promote it to your community so that we can get them eviscerated too. No, Glenn, that's not true. That's not true. Everyone's using the XRPL. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's the reason why that man came into that live. He said what he said, and then he dipped because he didn't want the clapback. He didn't want the smoke. You're flooding people out of their positions, Glenn. No. I don't have enough fingers or toes to tell people, to count the amount of times I've told people what's going to happen in the market and have it happen, which ultimately would have made them money if they were to use my research as a foundation of their own research and arrived at the same conclusion. No, we're going to find it, though. Hold on. Where we at? We're going to find it, though. You got to know what you hold. Where is it at? I mean, shit. All you got to do is go to DeFi Llama, right? I got all the time today. I'm not catching the plane until tomorrow. I got all the time today. Where we at? Yes, because you're helping bring the AMMs to the XRP. Let me, you might not be able to see that. Let me zoom in. Yeah, because that looks like growth. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? You might not be able to see that. Let me take a screenshot of it. How about that? Yeah, because $80 million on the XRPL is big shit. Ooh. Bro, you're down here with Stacks, Osmosis, Hedera, ZK, Scroll. Look at these numbers. Down 12, 34, 57, 22, 9, Ronin. No one is using this shit. But yeah, go ahead. Let's get involved with the DeFi on XRP and utilize the XRPL. Know what you hold. Fucking clowns, dude. All you got to do is look it up. It's blockchain. You can't lie. Yeah, we're working together. We're trying to bring, the AMMs to the, the XRPL and get people involved with DeFi. Nobody wants to use it. That juice isn't worth the squeeze. Even if I had XRP, why would I want to put it into a DeFi protocol on XRP to potentially lose money? The vast majority of protocols or projects on the XRPL, there's like 12 of them, are shit. It's shit. So when I got to go into these lives and I got to jump on with panels with people who are fans of XRP, like if you're a fan of XRP, that's fine. But make sure the things that you're talking about, the things that you are giving to the community are actually rooted in some kind of truth that can be easily verified by looking it up from the primary source. And again, not a bobsbasementblog.com, not a YouTube video. Show it to me directly from the company. Show it to me directly from Ripple. Show it to me directly from someone who has gotten some kind of funding from the XRP Foundation, and it's like, hey, we're actually riding with you guys, not something that's being created in somebody's mom's basement.
That's called motherfucking bars, you know nothing about that.
Nothing about that. I thought we were over this, man, but every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. I swear to God. They get on somebody live, and no, I can't let it slide. I can't let it slide because I genuinely care about people in this space. And when I look up, I see people being lied to, people being taken advantage of. The play that you need to be paying attention to is what's going to happen with stablecoins. And the rails that are going to see much of this explosionary growth are the rails of the projects that have inroads to specific stablecoins that once this adoption comes, there will be pathways into. This is one reason why, personally, why Ether is not quote unquote my baby, and I know I have the .ether handle after my name. You got to understand, like, I've been in this space a long time. I got the .eth extension when ENS, Eminent Domains, when they were actually doing the, hey, instead of using your 24 character wallet, people can just type in CryptoGlenn.eth and send you whatever it is that they want to send you. It was new. It was innovative. Now they're everywhere. And it's something I just kept. I haven't really done anything with it. Facts, alpha, content. Fuck your feelings. Show me a chart. Show me the numbers. Come on, man. I do this. I go online. The only thing you need to be is like, yo, Glenn's on. I gotta go.
Jeez, I'm excited about this.
That's the only feeling you should have. Oh shit, Glenn Live. Let me dip. Sometimes you're gonna have people up and it's gonna be a real intellectual conversation. I might get turned on to some information that's gonna benefit me. Sometimes he might be going over the charts, probably gonna make some money for that. Sometimes he's gonna be exploiting people and the lies that's being told in cryptocurrencies. Want to tune in for that? Back to the blockchain says this should be reposted. Oh, it's going on YouTube. Don't worry. It's going on YouTube. It's going on YouTube. The thing you got to keep in mind is most people are not using this shit. They ain't using it. Market's saying we don't want it. If you're going to pay attention to upcoming trends in the space that are probably going to allow you to have a lot of at-bats and get a lot of opportunities, I'm going to tell you right now. Real world assets, privatizing of credit, privatizing of debt. We talked about that back in February. Glenn, you didn't talk about that in February, didn't I though? Didn't I though? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I might tell you a joke. I'm not gonna tell you a lie. Talked about it on a live and put up the link because I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and put this link up here for those of y'all that want to look at that handsome guy. Who's that? These are cold. I don't care what nobody says. I kind of want them. GoldenEye just dropped some. Might have to try to find those. Where's it at? Is it February? I think it was February. Liquidity, that's not it. I wish I had a point where they just showed us links so I could find it easier like that. March 6th. We're not even in February yet. Here we go. March 5th. Wait, is this it? That's not it. Bitcoin Las Vegas beater. I'm gonna be there. Would love to meet some of y'all, catch up with some of y'all. I know there's gonna be a handful of y'all there. We're definitely gonna catch up. Privatized credit, privatized debt. You might want to be paying attention to that one. So that's the thing, man. When I post up on Twitter, you really got to be looking for it. Where is this shit at? There you go. February 8th, tokenized private credit, new digital frontier. You might want to be paying attention to that. You might want to pay. I'll bookmark it so you can find it. Just go to my Twitter. Look it up. There you go. If you're looking for the Twitter, that's the handle right there. But yeah, man, I'm not going to lie to y'all. when the stablecoin bill finally gets finalized and there's now a pathway and inroads, the projects that have the inroads already there, your Ethereums, your Solanas, your Suis, don't be surprised if these start to be the ones that really start to run. Is it on YouTube? It's going on YouTube, yeah. It's going on YouTube. Did I talk about Chainlink? I haven't really talked about Chainlink, not this go round. Some of you were asking me how I feel about Chainlink in the last go round. I told you if it's an Oracle play, if it's responsible for bringing information from Sector 1 into Sector 2, I think that's something that people should definitely be paying attention to, like from Web 2 into Web 3. I think that's something that people should definitely be paying attention to because it's going to be very, very important. Chainlink, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the best performers over the next 10 years, and I mean that. A lot of this stuff does not work without oracles, dexes, indexers, things of that nature. You have to have a vehicle to import information, price feed data, randomizing functions, all of that. Link does all of that. Is crypto created for centralized or decentralized is the question folks need to ask. Yeah, is crypto, yeah, is it created for decentralization? The API 100% count. Yes, the API. Yep. Yes. Any oracles on your radar besides Link? Pyth. There's another one that I was looking at. I have it in my history. I'm going to go live again here tonight, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and I should have it for you guys. Like I said, I spend a lot of time doing researching, so when I find something, if I don't like write it down separately, I got to comb through a lot of information that I've been through. So it might take me a little while to find it. Tech, yeah, Pyth, in my opinion, is super dope. It is the Chainlink for the Solana blockchain. Is Ondo on my radar? Ondo is on my radar. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. White Rock, not so much. Not so much. But Ondo is. And again, if you like Ondo, again, go to that Twitter. Go to my Twitter that I showed you and just read up on the privatization of credit and debt. I think that's going to open up a lot of doors for people. Excuse me. I think that's going to open up a lot of doors for people. But yeah, I had to jump on here because I see a lot of people getting excited about what's going on with Ripple and their new acquisition. And I get it. Like, I don't hate the play. For the company, I love the play. I think it's a smart play. Trying to get into a new market, just buy up existing companies. It's not a new and an innovative play. It's something that people do, and it works. But what I don't want to see is people just hyping it up like, oh, this is going to lead to so much adoption, RL, USD, and that's going to happen, and that's going to burn XRP. I think you're really setting yourself up for failure. Because when you go through and you do the math and how much would have to be burned in order to move the price and how that could potentially affect the structure and the order of how XRP works in the future, I think it's probably more damning than anything. XRP can't be $20,000, but in order to get on the XRPL, allegedly some would say you need to have XRP. Okay, so if I'm new to this space and I got to be able to get on the XRPL and I need an XRPO, but I need an XRP, but XRP is $20,000, $1,000, $100,000. Where am I supposed to go to get the funding to be able to get my project and what I got to apply for a loan? Do you see the flaw in the think? It can't be expensive for one party and cheap for another party. Logic is absent upon some folks. There is no market cap for utility. All I'm saying is if stable coins have utility, and they probably have, if stable coins have market cap and they probably represent some of the best utility in crypto, I think the argument of commodities and XRP not having market cap and it not mattering is probably a fallacy. Sharp, you said it nicely. I'll say it like this. People are just idiots. And it's like, I want to be nice, but it's like, come on, man. Come on, man. I wanted to go on early because, like I said, that, let me get this out the way. To me, that really made sense. I'm definitely going to unpack this a little bit farther tonight. They don't understand the technology, period. Yeah, I mean, come on. Is LCX in the same arena as Ondo? Way smaller scale. Way smaller scale. And then that's the other thing you got to look at. Whatever crypto you're getting involved in, what is their economies of scale? I would look at what is the economies of scale. Do they offer anything that's proprietary compared to any of their competitors? Network effect. Have they been battle tested? All of the real measurables, because we can't go off of products because a lot of cryptos, they don't have products. So it's not like when you're analyzing a stock. So you've got to use a different set of intangibles when you're trying to evaluate what is worthy or what's not worthy of your money. Nobody talks about XRP escrow. We were actually talking about that on Be the Changes Live, right? So people are saying, well, what happens if the escrow is handed over to the U.S. Treasury? And we're trying to have a conversation where, like, there's a lot of foreign entities that won't probably migrate towards XRP because they don't want to give another company the financial advantage, right? It would be the same kind of scenario of what's going on with the dollar. We have a lot and we want to move away from the dollar because they feel the United States has weaponized it. And so if the Treasury has access to Ripple's escrow account, it would be the same kind of situation. Sleeps 100%. Imagine, he says, imagine building a company just to hand over billions of tokens. Let's niche down on that. Let's niche down on that. If E-Rock, if Christy Sue, I appreciate you for heartbeat, man. Thank you. Drop one of them things in the chat one time for Christy Sue. And Fear Crypto for sending the sparkler. Thank you, family. And Crypto Caddy for sending the rose. I appreciate you, Caddy. Thank y'all so much. So if you created this entity, this really, allegedly hyper successful entity, right? Let's say you're the greatest. I'm trying to think. You make the best mining equipment in the world. You can extract so much gold out of the mountains. You can extract so much gold out of the ground at a rate faster than anybody else can. Are you just going to willingly hand over that technology? You just going to hand over that power? If you woke up tomorrow and you were the king or the queen of Djibouti, Africa, right? Gold deposits, diamond deposits, palladium, platinum, cobalt. All of these deposits on the land that you sit on, and you're the king or you're the queen. You just gonna hand it over? Yeah, I don't feel like I don't want to be the ruler of Zumanda anymore. I'm done. Miss Evie, I already say I'm queen. You just gonna hand it over? You don't know me. I come to your house. You don't know that I'm Crypto Glenn. You've never been into one of my live streams. Coming to America reference. How you repeat that? You've never met me. I knock on your door. Hey, I like this house. It's mine now. You go say, oh, hey, yeah, mister, come on in. Come on in. Kick your feet up. Let me get you a sandwich and a soda and, whatever. Said I'm from Texas, right? Right? So let's be real. Fellas, you a dude. Your significant other live with you, right? I see y'all in Target. I follow y'all home. Hey, Mr. Man, your girl, I like her. She's mine now. I'm going to go here and take that thing down through there one time. You're going to be like, bro, get up out of here. We're squabbling. You're not giving that up. I mean, if you would, I'd probably have questions. Just saying.
I beg your pardon.
I'm just saying.
I beg your pardon.
What's E-Rock on? You feel me? You're not just gonna get that up. Hey, mister, come on in. Yeah, you can take my wife down through there. I don't mind. I got some land. I got some shovels. And I got some other things. Nah, That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Fiat currency magic printer should be fired. Should be fired up, B. In time. In time. If the money printers do come back on, just know that it usually precedes something or follows something that's catastrophic in nature. 2008, .com crash, COVID. You know? You should ask, why would the person who created BTC make sure they remained anonymous? I know why. So before this thing got off to where it's going or where it's even at now, there could be no one to go after. Again, I tell people all the time, that's part of BTC's charm. Oh, I've got a problem with BTC. I'm going to sue it. Cool. What's the address? 1000 University Drive, blockchain, cyberspace. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. JT, they making that $250 bill. I can't attest to that. I can't attest to that. This thing that Bitcoin is centered on, is created us, like I said, is probably the greatest gift that's been given to every man, woman, and child. Especially those that seek financial inclusion over the last 50 years, if I'm being honest. If I'm being honest. Crypto never sleeps with a giraffe. Damn! Oh, man.
Jeez, I'm excited by this.
Excited about that giraffe. That was crazy. Thank you, Sleeps. That was absolutely crazy. That's my point, though. Remain anonymous. Give the world a gift. Back on out that thing. Fade to black. No one ever sees you again. Gone. Want to go feed the dress? We got some of those conservations. You can do that over here in Ohio. Crypto T, appreciate the rose. Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Black Crypto says about 500 years, and that's from E-Rock to Black Crypto, about 500 years. So again, next time you hop on somebody's live and they're perpetuating certain falsehoods, I want you to do the responsible thing and be like, hey, I need you to show me that. And proof. And then if they tell you, well, you know, just go look it up. You haven't done your research. I want you to treat them like you playing Super Smash Bros. On N64 and you got that bat from Ness and you just knock them out the park. Crypto never sleeps with a cake. Give me that. Thank you, brother. I'm serious. Treat them like it's N64 Smash Bros. And just, you're out of here. You don't have time for this. You work too hard to acquire the money that you do to put it into just cockamamie, half-baked ideas. Because if I'm being honest, most crypto sucks. Just call a spade a spade. Most crypto sucks. Most DeFi, unless you're really working it a way that only a very specific folks really understand how to benefit it from, of which one of those people might be in this chat. Two of those people might be in this chat. Crypto never sleeps. You see, he just made a comment to Jose Ya P21 with the smiley face. Yeah, Crypto never sleeps. You might want to click on that dude's profile and send him a message. I'm just saying. Because most people who get involved with DeFi, probably not doing it right. Yours truly. Yeah. I just want to get a coin. I'm going to pair it with this coin. I'm going to sit back and just wait and see what it does. Okay, yeah, cool. You can do that. But what if I told you there's so much more? There's so many more intricacies that you need to be aware of. And you need to know someone who can turn you on to that information. Crypto never sleeps. Fear Crypto and Investor. Maybe they're still here. You might want to get with these people. But if you think you're just going to take your XRP and put it into a protocol and they're going to give you whatever coin they're going to give you, I'm going to tell you something. You probably just lost your XRP. And that goes for Solana, that goes for Ethereum, that goes for whatever else cryptocurrency you want to get involved with DeFi. You really need to make sure you're doing these kind of things correctly. And it's not really a whole lot of people that are actually showing you how to do it the appropriate way. Glenn, what's the roadmap for legitimate price explosion, please? Black can't get that to you. I'm not sure one really exists. Not for the kind of numbers that most people want you to believe. Milf 100% Sleeps is dope. He's dope. 32 keys of that white Marain. Dope. Ain't no other way to put it. Block to the blockchain. Thank you, family. I appreciate those. What are those, sparklers? Yeah, sparklers. Thank you. Thank you. Spell is squeezing. Let's go make some shorts. Sleeping cars again. No, don't get wrecked. Don't get wrecked. But while we're talking about the market, let's look at the macro. You've had a pause on tariffs for 90 days. You have CPI that came in better than expected, which, if I'm being honest, folks, like the metrics, the items that they use for CPI, they change regularly. So I feel like whatever narrative that they want to push, they can just incorporate those items into the calculation of CPI to fit whatever narrative that they want to push, right? So if CPI core as well as traditional CPI came in better than expected, if there's been a pause on the tariffs for the next 90 days, assuming your president, assuming my president, assuming the president doesn't get on here and change his mind or, say anything else that's going to be damaging the markets, at least in the short term duration, the macro may have just flipped. Now, when you start to look at charts, there are certain price points that we need to get over before we can say we have officially flipped from a technical standpoint, but from a fundamental standpoint, from a fundamental analytical standpoint, for the short term anyway, things looks like they are turning the corner. Overlay for the underplay, right? Yeah, let's get this thing to 10K, then I got to go see a man about a horse. So, again, I think the blue chips are probably going to be poised to do some pretty decent things, again, over the short term. Alt season, still not really sure on alt season, right? I think you got to have Jerome Powell come out, make the announcement, let the folks know that he's going to be cutting rates so that risk on assets start to look promising again. But as far as like the macro, at least for Bitcoin, I could see a pathway where things start to look up from here, assuming that we don't get a pie in the face and he's like, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I want to tweet something and just completely nuke the markets. You feel me? So when we reconvene here tonight, right, and I know there's going to be some people that have questions about what we've gone over here today, which is fine. The DMs are always open to you all. Feel free to hit me up if you have questions. I'm anticipating questions. I'd be more than happy to answer them. I'd be more than happy to recap this here tonight, maybe even go into a little bit of greater detail where I can have just a little bit more time with you all. We're going to go over some charts. I did recently put a play on what I was looking at out of, say, Barachain here. I was targeting 367. We opened at 380. As soon as we crossed a certain threshold, definitely wanted to make sure that we move that stop loss into profit zone. So no matter what happens, it's going to be a risk-free trade for us. When we come back here tonight, if you want to analyze more charts, just come with whatever tickers you want me to take a look at. And you'll know we get to that point in the live stream when you hear this.
You're in the right place, my guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what time it is when you hear this, right?
It's that time we get together, we start analyzing some charts. Crypto Caddy, I appreciate you for being here. We get to 10K? We did get to 10K. Appreciate y'all for making that happen. Back to the blockchain, I appreciate you for championing the chat and making sure that we can get chat to do that. Again, if y'all have questions, do let me know. I want to be here for y'all, right? My number one goal is just to try to help y'all become successful, help y'all further your success, and just be objective. Keep people accountable. Before I get out of here, y'all know how I like to end my streams. I got to say what's up to the top viewers, man. Number one, we got Crypto Never Sleeps, Fear.Crypto, number 2 spot. 3, Back to the Blockchain, Crypto Caddy, Miss Evie, JT, BAOU444, I hope I pronounced that correctly. E-Rock, good to see you here. Carol, always a pleasure to see you here. Devil Dog, 1775. 1 Sharp, AK, Dut, Milkshake28, always good to see you here, family. I hope your Thursday afternoon is going fantastic. Worldwide K, I hope being able to show you some of the things that I've showed you in person left you with a little bit of solace, right? I never want to be the content creator that's just up here spewing inaccuracies. When I talk about things, I want to be able to provide facts. And so I commend you for asking me to show you proof. I think there needs to be more of that in the space. So thank you for that. Wheeler 1, Blake Crypto, Bill Fence, Sliding Penguin, Party Bombs, PTY BMS. Hope I said that right. Giovanni Jermez, appreciate you for being here. She Grubs with Love. Man, I'm hungry my damn self. I ain't gonna hold you up. Unite Boy 1, Quinita Pollen. I hope I said that correctly. Mel Him 22, Teddy Treasures LLC, John T, Steven, Mike D, Backford. Strategy wins all. Strategy just went on. Make sure part of your strategy is having objective information because you're gonna need it. All right, you need it. Risa, do your own effing research. Toy Trader, Fred, Kush, Mazua, and Jade. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for being here. Just want to make sure. D. Carl, did see you, D. Carl. I see you, family. Good to see you here. And I think that's going to be it for the top trader. Those are normally the people who just either gifted, hit the likes the most, send out the live stream, just did what they did to try to help get this live out to more people. If you missed any of this, you can catch this on YouTube at my channel, Crypto Glenn. The logo looks the same. It's spelled the same. There's no differentiation. So if you need help finding that, let me know and I'll send you a link. Casper was a 17X when we called it. Tell him again, Sleeps. A 17X. Folks just now catching up to it. Bland says, I shared the live. I appreciate you, Bland. Thank you so much. Thoughts on Link? I can't tell you what to do with your funds because, again, it's not my money. But personally, I think Link is a good hold. It's in my portfolio, right? Appreciate you, Mike, for sending a lightning bolt. Thank you, my guy. What time do I usually go live? Normally go live weekday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been doing more of these lunch hour streams because I feel like I kind of capture a different crowd and I want to try to help get this message out to as many people. So sometimes we'll do live. That's normally around the lunch hour, 12 p.m. But predominantly the majority of times we're going live at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, okay? And that's almost every day about. So, and sometimes you can catch me in other people's lives as well. So if they're having dialogue that I think I can add something to, that I think is going to push the narrative or further the space, then you can catch me on other people's lives as well. I'm always thankful to have people up. And we'll do lives where we have people up that I have people up on mine. Just depends on, what we're talking about. Thoughts on XYO? I was holding XYO for a bit. I still have a little bit. I'd sold off the majority of my alts back in like December, November. I just kind of thought the market was getting a little too frothy. And I looked at, just kind of de-risking, taking some profits, and really glad that I did because the market has just been a complete downslide from then on. So if you need help trying to figure that out, let me know. We can cover that tonight. Drop some really good information on people. One of the last times we went live, I call it my 4 canaries in a coal mine, and I think that helped out a lot of people. So yeah, if you want access to that, just drop one in the chat, and I'll be sure to recap that when we go live here tonight, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we got a couple ones already. Cool. I got you. Worldwide K, I see you. Deuce is Wild, I see you. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll recap that for y'all. Don't worry about it. 9:30 tonight here, Eastern Standard Time. Party Moms, I got you. I see you. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna see y'all later. Hey DJ, man, do me a favor. Hit my outro music. Appreciate it.
Hey Joe, come on. We're gonna be late for the Crypto Blend live stream. Call Barack and Michelle, see if they're gonna tune in and watch. We can see him chart Doggy Moo coin.
This is the best president of the United States, Donald Trump, and when I'm not putting high tariffs into place, I'm watching Crypto Glenn. Only Dicky Dark.
We are late. The Crypto Glenn live stream has started without us. You fail me yet again, Stall Scream.
Jeez, I'm excited by this.
You're watching the Crypto Glenn nightly stream. Real Alpha, Glenn, can you chart Doggy Moo coin for me?
I'm too old for this shit.
You know what time it is when you hear this, right?
Let's get ready to rumble!